Hello you guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So in today's video, we are going to be doing another MLM Horror Stories number 72. So I thought we would just get right on into it. This story says, "Hi Deanna, my name is Brittany, no need to keep me anonymous. My first run in was back in about 2011 to 2012-ish with it work. I'm a people pleaser, something I'm working on, lol. And I had someone on my friends list. I had met her through another social media site. I thought she was really nice and she was a fellow mom. Well, I got roped into trying one of those wrap things. Ugh, those are horrible. I've always been vocal about my insecurities and my stomach is certainly one of them. After that, she would constantly message me, asking me about buying some stuff from her, wanting me to tell my friends about it, etc. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I told her I couldn't afford it, that I didn't think it did anything, and I wasn't a fan of how it felt. In the end, I had to block her because she wouldn't stop. Fast forward a bit to, I'd say, 2017 to 2018 or so. I start following another mom on Instagram. She's really nice and easy to talk to, which is awesome. I'm super shy and have really bad anxiety. I thought I'd make a friend. Then came the pitch. I have something I think you'd be really good at to make yourself a little extra money each month. I told her no thank you and I felt a bit off, but we kept chatting. I thought she was being respectful. Nope, she tried again, not even a couple days later. I blocked her after, telling her I thought it was rude to pretend to befriend someone, talk to them for weeks just to try and sell them something / get them to sell something. I think those are the two that stick out the most to me. Thankfully, nothing since. My best friend was invited to a Zaya Zoom party yesterday, and thanks to your channel and a few others, she knew it was an MLM right away. So we both appreciate your work." Oh, well, I am glad that you never got roped in, because you did say you were a people pleaser, and a lot of the times people that are people pleasers can really get caught up in mid-level marketing because they just don't know how to say no, or they feel weird when someone continues on badgering them, continues on with the messaging and all of that stuff. So I am really happy that, you didn't get caught up in it and you stuck up for yourself, or stood up for yourself, I should say. The next one says, "MLM Horror Story, the time I was in Usborne Books and then Arbonne. Hey Deanna, I can't believe I haven't sent my horror stories to you yet. Feel free to use my name. And I also have a YouTube channel called Laura B. And she also does anti-MLM stuff if you guys want to go and check her out. I've been exposed to several MLMs over the years without even knowing what they were, but everything changed this past year of 2020 when I ended up joining not one, but two MLMs during the pandemic. Number one, Usborne Books. There was someone from my childhood that was my best friend since elementary school. We were very close, and I didn't have very many friends back then. When she moved away in middle school, I was devastated. This was before social media to keep in touch. Flash forward to college, we found each other again through social media, but we discovered that in all those years apart, we were no longer the same people through our different paths. We were going to become roommates and go to school together, but we ended up in an argument and lost touch. A few more years passed, bringing up 2020. I had a BA in psychology, but ended up baking in a grocery store. I started having physical health issues that made it hard to continue my job. My former best friend reached out to me out of the blue asking how I was. I thought we were reconnecting again to give it another go. After all, she was a huge part of my life. Then she told me it would be really cool if we could work together. She told me she sells children's books. I thought, wow, I like the idea of working as a bookseller. And that sounds innocent, right? I had no idea it was an MLM. It sounded so nice, making money on the side, possibly replacing my physical stressful job that I could get back on the path and take care of my health. Then I found out it costs money to join, but it was only $25, a lot less than when she joined. So I joined. I did a couple of parties. They pushed me toward constantly asking people to host and then asking them to join as consultants. And they held monthly rewards to further hook you into meeting goals of recruiting and sales. It was exhausting. I also noticed that people could only buy so many books for their kids, so my market was tapped out. The people that felt like supporting me because they wanted to help. They would push me to even ask people I wasn't sure if they had kids or not. Ask them to get books for their nieces and nephews. If there was a pregnant person, I was supposed to talk to them about hosting a baby book party. What? Or a baby book shower. That's so weird. Every time someone posted about kids on my timeline, I should reach out to them. Harmless, right? I stepped away because my health was getting worse and I didn't have the energy to constantly do parties and find people for lists and lists of recruits. There's a lot of other stuff around drama with uplines and downlines that I won't get into. It was just a very unstable, toxic environment and I needed to get out. Number 2, Arbonne. I left Usborne, and I remembered that one person I tried to recruit for Usborne was already in Arbonne. She seemed like it was working for her, as she was executive district manager, which really is just a second rate, but they make it sound fancy. I thought that perhaps having consumable health products would be a better way to go, and that's why the first one didn't work for me. I also wanted to try the 30 Days to Healthy Living, thinking I would just get the discount and had nothing to lose. However, it was really expensive. I spent nearly $300 to $500 just on products to start, in addition to the $49 sign-up fee. My upline actually kept adding things to my cart, saying I needed all these things because they'd be really great for my business. I started the 30 DHL, 30 Days to Healthy Living, and was told to post about my shakes and healthy eating with the products, so I did. And I posted so much about my excitement going on this new health journey. Then they told me how I was glowing and I should share it with others. I went to the team calls. I was told to be a product of the product, and I had to make a list of 100 people I knew, do power hours where I would find ways to connect with people in DMs and invite them to these opportunity calls. I started feeling a little sleazy. So I actually want to pause it here because something I've been thinking about lately is the whole product of the product thing. So a lot of the times when we talk about MLMs, we kind of talk about the difference between MLM that have inventory or MLMs that you could just buy products on a website. So Arbonne is that type of MLM that you can just buy a product online, and that the MLM reps do not have to actually purchase inventory. Now, when it comes down to it, the MLMs that you have to get inventory like LuLaRoe, or the MLMs like Arbonne that you don't have to buy inventory, but you can actually buy online. When we break it down, there's honestly not a big difference between the two MLMs, because what ends up happening is with the MLM you buy inventory, you end up buying inventory that you then sell, and buying inventory is normally how you stay active for the MLM. But with the product of the product MLMs like Beachbody, Arbonne, Monat, all of those, Lavelle/Thrive, what ends up happening is you end up with your own personal stash, because a lot of the times those MLMs make you buy products every month to stay active. And the only way you can actually make an income, or not make an income, but make a paycheck, is by staying active, or else you won't be allowed to make a paycheck. So I'm really intrigued by this concept of product of the product, because everyone that does an MLM like Arbonne or does an MLM like Beachbody, Monat, they'll be like, well, we don't buy products, we don't have to have inventory. We're so much better than the inventory like MLMs. And it's like, no, you're literally the same thing. The only thing about your MLM is, okay, cool, you don't have to buy inventory, but you end up with your own personal stash of inventory. Take it from me, someone who was in Beachbody, an MLM like Arbonne, an MLM like Rodan and Fields, all of that, where you don't have to buy inventory to sell, you still end up with your own stash, because you have to stay active every month, right? To earn your paycheck or whatever. To stay active, you have to buy products, or you have to sell to customers. But if you don't sell to, say, enough customers that month, that ends up, having customers that buy over $200 worth of product, you end up having to buy that. And I remember getting out of Beachbody and having a whole cabinet of products that I ended up just throwing away, because there was no way I was going to consume those products in time before their expiration date. So it's like these MLMs that talk about, oh, we're so much better because we don't need inventory. They're not. You're going to end up with your own personal stash, because they're going to tell you to be a product of the product. And with Arbonne, we hear all of the time that they say, oh, well, you need to switch out all of your home-based products for ours, our toothpaste, our deodorant, our this, our that. So you end up literally spending over a period of time thousands of dollars of products, even if at the moment you don't realize you're spending that much, because in the moment maybe you just bought a $50 product. But in the end, after a year or 2 years into that MLM, you're going to end up with thousands of dollars wasted on these products when you could have bought something better and similar for $5 at the grocery store. So that's just my opinion on that. She then said, I even asked my upline why people had problems with our business, why they thought it was a pyramid scheme. Can you guess what they said? Ugh, they're just haters. They won't be laughing when you get your Mercedes. Create your vision board. Pyramid schemes are illegal. We sell products. Blah, blah. I've heard it all. Heck, I even asked why the income disclosures seemed a bit low for people in the bottom ranks. They assured me that a lot of people who were in it were just in it for the discount, so that's what skewed the numbers. They had me convinced. There's so much toxicity I could say with this one. How I lost over $1,000, how I lost friends and was blocked by people. Family members were afraid to talk to me. I was emotionally wrecked, all while battling an unknown neurological condition. I had started watching anti-MLM content on YouTube. At first, I was hitting thumbs down and saying, this isn't our MLM, but I kept watching. I had always been close to self-aware. I ended up having to see a mental health therapist again because it was getting so bad. I made the mistake of messaging my upline or telling my upline. This is where my rose-colored glasses finally got ripped off. She told me that I should bring him some wait, what? Her upline said that she should bring the therapist some samples of the product and make sure he stocks it in his office, trades in all his soaps and teas, make sure he buys Arbonne and tells all his clients. I was shocked. This was my therapist. I told her that was a boundary I wasn't willing to cross. She said that her doctors and therapists are her clients. I was so angry. I didn't say much other than I was really uncomfortable with that. What? I have not heard this one. Oh, tell your therapist to stock it up and give it to his clients. It's like, girl, I'm going to a therapist for a reason. You don't want to ask me what's wrong. You don't want to ask me like, girl, are you doing okay mentally? Instead, you tell me to tell my therapist to stock up his shelves? Oh no. Okay, let's continue. She said, I then saw anti-MLM in a new light. I stumbled upon your page around this time as well. You helped me figure out how to get out with one of your videos. I slowly backed away, saying my health was just too much for me to keep going, so I needed a break. Luckily, they let me back away. Then I called to make it official. And then I felt too much of my story would probably be relatable to others. I don't want others to go through what I did. I needed something cathartic to help me grieve the process of getting out and having to slowly mend my relationships. I wanted it to mean something. December 24th, 2020, I made my first YouTube video. I didn't know what it would be about for sure, but I just started talking. And boy, did I have a lot to say. Then I just kept talking, and now it's almost a year later. I'm slowly healing, and I owe a lot of it to you and the anti-MLM community. The people I once thought were haters, it seems so long ago now. Thank you so much for sharing my story. I have plenty more on my channel. Well, thank you to this person for sharing their story, and also amazing for you to like personally start your own channel and talk about this. So thank you so much for sharing. And I really am wishing you all the good vibes, girl. All of the good vibes. I hope that you are doing okay now. And the next MLM Horror Story says short MLM stories. So I'm guessing a bunch of like short MLM horror stories. She said 0. LuLaRoe, age 15. Sophomore year of high school, my boyfriend's mom bought me some leggings. They were soft, honestly, and stretchy. Felt super comfortable and wore them when I went camping. Nothing else to this story, just that I remember this being my first interaction with MLMs. Didn't think anything of it since I was not recruited or told about the business and went along my merry teenage life. Number 1, Herbalife, age 18. Senior year of high school. The head cheer coach was sucked in by a cafeteria lady. So by this point, the cafeteria lady, her daughter, who was also in cheer. The head coach invited the girls to work out and train as they had a center nearby. Also turns out my boyfriend's sister, the same boyfriend, high school sweetheart, was also on the same team. She's in it deep. Oh, this aunt too? OMG, help. The Herbalife story needs more details for sure. And yes, I have included it as a separate story. Okay, so we'll read that one after. Number 2, Monate, age 18. My cousin is in Monate and has now put her parents in her downline. She asked if I wanted to use it because at the time I was trying to find a good line for my type 2 wavy yet frizzy hair. I said no thank you, and that was that. Years later, to the pandemic, he recruited her parents, and now my aunt raves on the line, causing her hair to be healthier than ever. And apparently my uncle's bald spot is now gone. I go live for my business and the chick hops on and has said a few times how Monate helps with this and that, and my followers mock and taunt. I felt bad, so I just said, hey, thanks for the recommendation, but I just don't support MLMs. Can't wait to see you this weekend at so-and-so's party. Yikes. Monate, age 25. I have my own small business, like a real one, haha, and get DMs all of the time about supporting small businesses. So when I get a, hey girl, I'd love for you to check out my biz, I was not fazed. I asked her what she did, and she gave me the whole natural cruelty-free hair care line pitch. This was around the pandemic, and there was something about the name that made me look it up because I knew I had heard it from somewhere. I saw the website nicely made, read the details, and well, at this point, I was going to change my hair to a balayage blonde, so I thought maybe my hairstylist won't like that I switch products, or maybe she will be so impressed. I told the girl, yeah, it's your business. I love supporting female-owned businesses. She then sent me a link to the products, a whole whopping $200, and I messaged her back about an added membership fee. I was this close. I had my card out and all. I declined because of the membership fee. She kept finding excuses as to why it's there, but clearly shows membership, which obviously means something reoccurring. This is where we went on a binge. You, Chelsea, and Isabella, months of YouTube, haha. I could come and do all of y'all's intros. Oh my, that is really funny. So I'm glad you found us though, after, this situation happened. Number 3, Primerica. Randomly got a DM on my business account saying, hey, love your stuff. Was wondering if you could sell something for me. Haha, bro, what? I had a hunch, so I asked what I'd be selling. He said my business is great for exposure and needs to sell life insurance. He said he would give me a cut. I told him, why would you be getting a majority of my money if I'm going to be doing the work? He never messaged me back. Number 4, beauty counter. My boyfriend's aunt, for a few months, was on the search for clean beauty products. Never once did she mention the name, but she would take suggestions to search her followers, family, and friends, of course, beauty products to show if they were clean or not using the following website. Ooh, what website is this? So she would go check out her friends and family's hair care products or like products in general and see if they're on this healthy living website. Weird. This website, it shows products based on number of how clean or toxic they are. I thought she was trying to do all natural because she was trying for a baby. When she finally said she found a line, many people were invested. Such a great trick, honestly, because I was checking her Insta stories for any updates. When she said beauty counter, I messaged her saying, hey, I saw you are going for beauty counter and just wanted to let you know that they're an MLM. To which she said, I know. They just have really good clean products. I won't be selling her anything, just using it. LOL. The next day, she says, hello everybody, I'm excited to announce I am launching my business. Ma'am, kindly STFU. Shut the fuck up is what that means. So these are my interactions from a small business owner. Okay, so this person also sent another email with her full Herbalife story. So she had sent that little short story, but here's her full on Herbalife story that she has. It says, hey, just sent in my short horror stories with the super secret spill at the end. Here's my Herbalife in a little bit more detail. Senior year of high school, I was head cheer captain and part of the student council. Please don't stereotype me. I was the black sheep since all the other girls have been together all their cheer life and were mean. I came from a private school and the admin wanted a fresh leadership person. The head cheer coach was sucked in by the cafeteria lady who was a cheer mom. Not a crazy one, a supporting, loving one actually. The head coach talked about the shakes and workouts and even had us do the workout she did at the center. Oh, did I mention we have a center nearby? Haha. Oh, so you're saying a Herbalife shop? The cafeteria lady / cheer mom, her daughter, who was on the team, and the head coach would go work out after practices. They would make this thing, and then a few teammates started going. I never had time since I had major responsibilities on both the cheer and student council side, along with homework. But these girls I started noticing were happier, and the cafeteria lady / cheer mom and head coach started losing weight. Whether it was the shakes and teas and God knows what else they claimed, I believe, as Chelsea has said before, it's not the products. It was the fact that there is some constant routine. It's not the products working, it's you working. I graduated and stayed to help coach for 6 years after. At the time, I was the head coach's assistant and she is on the health binge, substituting shakes and teas instead of eating balanced meals. Her weight would fluctuate, I noticed, with the heavy Herbalife products in the fall / winter and a slimmer body in the spring / summer. Well, my boyfriend's sister asked if I wanted to work out with her after I mentioned I wanted to get a gym membership. Instead of my boyfriend and I buying a Planet Fitness membership, she convinced us to try out the place she goes to. We showed up and I see half of my community there. Cheer coach, cafeteria lady, cheer mom, teachers, other sports coaches, athletes, parents, even his aunt. Felt weird but welcoming since I knew everyone. We did the group workouts for 3 days. I tried the cookies and cream, milkshake, and even stayed to have a meeting and get my BMI thing done. The head person was the owner of the center and did all the talking, but the head cheer coach and cafeteria lady were her right and left hand gals. OMG, I even remember telling my boyfriend, quote, I kind of like this, let's do this. since we both wanted to get fit. Thank goodness for my boyfriend's anti-social tendencies, as we chose Planet Fitness because it wasn't overly friendly. So she says, I bought shakes and protein powder, but kept it at my boyfriend's house. I would go over and his sister would be making shakes and would make me one. Girl, when I tell you my bowel movements moved, they moved. They packed up and left the state, moved. Oh my God, that's so funny. The present. To this day, the head coach is out, I believe. The cafeteria lady and her daughter are still in Herbalife, and actually they have gained more weight. As for my boyfriend's sister, she is using the products but doesn't attend classes or push people to sell or buy or join. But her and her husband make this jungle juice of Herbalife products in gallon jugs for them to drink every day. My boyfriend's aunt was in deep, but has now gained the weight back as she has no time for it. Now some mental notes. There were no Herbalife markings. Everyone had a fitness Instagram or food Instagram. Everyone was Latin American / Hispanic, mostly young people. Shakes tasted differently there than at home. Lots of couples and or friend groups, tons of Instagram selfies in a big mirror and sports bras and Nike Pros, tons of new challenge posts and stuff like that. It was so weird. So yeah, with Herbalife, I've done a Herbalife video. It was a long time ago though, like I think over 8 months ago or something like that. I did a Herbalife Nutrition Club deep dive where I actually went to an Herbalife Nutrition Club myself to like test it out and kind of to see that. And apparently in the Herbalife rules, you're not allowed to actually show Herbalife stuff. Like you're not supposed to have the Herbalife name anywhere or anything like that. That is why in my Herbalife deep dive, like for the nutrition clubs, I actually link in the description box where you can search for Herbalife nutrition clubs near you, because I feel like a lot of the times you can't tell that it's an Herbalife nutrition club. If you're someone that just likes to go to like smoothie shops, you can sometimes end up at an Herbalife shop without even knowing it, because on the outside they just look like smoothie shops, and sometimes on the inside, same thing. They just look like smoothie shops. So I will also find that again and link it down below where you guys can make sure to not go to the Herbalife nutrition clubs, and you could actually check in your area how many there are. So if you're trying to, avoid them, because that's what I would recommend, do not support these clubs at all. That's just my opinion and my preference. I would not support any multi-level marketing company. You can actually check like the Herbalife nutrition clubs near you so that you could avoid them. And sorry, I just hit my microphone if it made a loud noise. She then said, another funny story. May/June of 2021, I decided to find a trainer to help me with my fitness goals because I was trying by myself and was super frustrated that I wasn't seeing results. But the trainer I did find is amazing. On my first call with her, she said, do you have any questions? And I asked, do you know what Herbalife and Beachbody are? And she burst out laughing. She said it's super hard in the fitness world with those huns trying to dominate it that our actual clients can't tell the difference between true trainers with credentials versus a hun bot. Oh, that is so true. Like that's the thing that I've talked about in the past and I make a notice of in my deep dives is for MLMs like Plexus, Isagenix, Thrive, Lavelle, Beachbody, Herbalife, anything that tries to sell health to you, they 90% of the time have zero credentials. They probably only know what they freaking Googled. They don't know anything about health and wellness. They don't have the proper backing, the proper credentials, the proper education from going to school, because actual dietitians and stuff have to go to school. Actual personal trainers have to go through a certification and then can be held liable if something happens to the person that they're training. So I don't think it's right that these individuals continue to do that. And me being someone that was in Beachbody, I have already, said I take accountability for the fact that I did that. I did think that I had the right to tell people what to do and not to do with their bodies. And until I allowed myself to get out of the perspective of an MLM rep, I realized that it isn't right. It isn't right to sit here and give advice when you don't even know nothing about health and wellness. All you know is what the MLM freaking tells you. That's it, which isn't proper education or credentials that you need in order to give someone health and wellness advice or nutrition advice or anything like that. So that is a really great point that person brought up. That is going to be all the MLM horror stories for me today. And I will leave my MLM horror story email down below if you want to send me your MLM horror story. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.